Hey, Solo here in studio. David Nuno here for TexAgs Rewind, and what a great show we had here on Friday. We had the Go Hour, OB banking on stuff, doing push-ups here in studio. Liucci also talked about watching the Bond movie, but he watched it in reverse. Kind of hard to follow how he did that. Not Inception, not one of those other Christopher Nolan movies. We did Around Aggieland with my buddy Richard Zano. It's good to have Zaner in here. And the final countdown was crazy. It was good times here with the McKinney brothers. What are we banking on, my friend?
I'm banking on, man, how can you not bank on Isaiah Spiller? Man, that guy has become the most, the easiest deposit to make. You know, it's going to pay off with interest. Isaiah Spiller is just having a tremendous season, and 150 yards at least I'm banking on from Isaiah. 150 at least.
I hope so. I love when they run the ball well. So I'm banking on, maybe you've heard of this guy, Anaya Smith. He's pretty good at football. He will score 2 touchdowns. Again. And he's going, if he does that, he will be tying Mike Evans for 7th all-time at A&M. And just to remind people, he has scored 2 touchdowns in 2 out of his last 3 games. I fully expect to see Anais do that.
You know, I think Isaiah Spiller needs about 160 yards, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, to break into A&M's top 10 all-time rushing list.
Trying to see if I have the game notes here. Let's see. He is Isaiah Spiller remains SEC's top rushers. He's 150 yards away from cracking the top 10 A&M's all-time career rushing
list. He's going to pass Christian Michael.
See, Mike. Good stuff. All right, so OB, some final thoughts here in the last few minutes of the Go Hour. Things we cannot see against South Carolina.
Well, I think you can't see A&M giving up big plays. You know, you can't see the mistakes that just keep a team in the game. You know, you don't want to miss the field goals if you have to. First of all, you don't want to have to settle for field goals, but if you do, you don't want to miss them. Right. You don't want to miss a tackle that turns into a big play. You don't want to get scoring opportunities and waste them, because that's how you let a team that's not as good as you are have a chance to win.
Yep.
So, those are things I don't want to see. Big penalties, you know, like you just said, there's going to be penalties, but you can't have the 8 penalties for 80 yards type of thing. You know, if it's 5 for 25 or 30 yards, okay, you can live with that.
So we agree. And early on the season, we all thought that A&M would probably have their way with Colorado. We thought, the New Mexico game, they won, but we were just underwhelmed in that game. But we all believe, I think, and tell me if I'm speaking correctly here, that if A&M plays the game that we know that they can play now, right? The games that we've seen the last 3 weeks, they win this game easily if they do what they normally do.
I think so. I think they can get a comfortable victory. Again, if it's not a comfortable win, in my opinion, it's going to be because A&M had the pratfalls that allowed South Carolina to stay in contention.
Yeah. I watched a 12:50 James Bond. It starts, he walks up, he's driving in his car through the mountains, he walks up to the thing, goes, Bond, James Bond. The guy looks up, oh my God. He reappears after 5 years in the building. Everybody's in shock, you know. Normal start to the movie. Some character's introduced, he sees her. I watched the movie. Hour and a half in, I'm like, this movie's about to end. And I was told by panicking Seth that it was 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I'm like, what the hell? Movie ends. I'm like, okay, I guess I was right. It didn't seem like they could drag it out for another hour. I start to walk out. I call Seth. I'm like, dude, it was like only an hour and 40 minutes. No way. Right when I say that, I look, and I'm walking by the 12:50 Bond. I went and saw the 11:50.
Don't tell me.
So I missed the first hour and 15 minutes. So then the next one started in 15 minutes. So I went to my car, made a couple, came back in. I reverse watched a movie.
Did it ruin the experience?
It didn't, because I walked in. I'm telling you, if you've seen the Bond movie, you know what I'm talking about. I walked in at the perfect time that it could have been the start of the movie, and all it did was kind of explain a little, but it wasn't that hard to figure out. It wasn't that good of a movie, and the guy that played, who's the cat?
Raimi.
Yeah, from he played Queen.
Yeah, he was great in that, but he looks kind of weird in that movie.
Well, I don't like his scalded face.
Yeah,
I didn't like seeing that the whole movie. And he wasn't a good Bond villain. I don't know what I wasn't a fan of him. Now, he creeped me out when he played the guy from Queen. What's his name? Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
He creeped me out playing him enough. If he would have looked like that in that, it would have creeped me out. He got me, what is he, Zoroastrian, whatever. Like, the only time I'd ever heard of that before was Austin Powers.
Right. He won an Academy Award for that, though, right?
It was a surprisingly good movie.
It was good.
But this Bond villain, he didn't do it for me. And then there's usually like a femme fatale type. There's usually like a female Bond villain to go with, and she feuds with the Bond girl. It didn't feel like your typical. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I would recommend it.
See, I'm more on
I wouldn't recommend it though, because it's 2 hours and 45 minutes, and to me, for a movie to be that long, it's got to be better.
Let's get into Around Aggieland.
All right, first story. The biggest story is Athing Mo has been named one of 5 finalists for the 91st AAU James E. Sullivan Award, which honors the nation's top outstanding amateur athlete. The other 5 finalists, Simone Biles, Caleb Dressel, USA swimmer, Kevin Copps from Arkansas baseball, and Maddie Musselman, USA water polo player. The winner will be announced tonight at a ceremony in Orlando, Florida, so congratulations to Mo, and obviously hope she brings home that award. She would become just the second Aggie ever to win the James E. Sullivan Award, joining Randy Matson in 1967. In football news, number 17 Texas A&M-South Carolina is tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. on the SEC Network. A&M 19.5-point favorite. For his performance last week against Missouri, Kenyon Green was named the SEC's Offensive Lineman of the Week, the second time this season he has won that award. Isaiah Spiller and Devon Achane were named Earl Campbell, Tyler Rose honorable mentions, as they both ran for 100-plus last week in Columbia as well. And not so great news on the soccer side. Texas A&M fell to Mississippi State last night 2-1, conceding goals in the 86th and 89th minute. With the loss, David, this is kind of hard to believe. The Aggies will have their first ever losing regular season in program history. Just an incredible run of success for G. Guerreri and company, and I assume they'll be back on the horse next year and perhaps even making a run in the SEC tournament. They've got the talent to do so. They're actually back at Ellis Field on Sunday afternoon. They'll take on Vanderbilt at 3 p.m. on the SEC Network. Volleyball's got a pair of matches this week in Starkville. They'll face Mississippi State Saturday at 3 p.m. on the SEC Network Plus, and then Sunday at 1 p.m. on the SEC Network main channel. If you're in Aggieland Friday night, head over to Olsen Field at Bluebell Park. Texas A&M baseball taking on Lamar in the second and final exhibition contest of the fall. First pitch set for 6:02. And admission is free. And then last night, Schloss Nagel and Company accepted the verbal commitment of 2024 right-handed pitcher Blaine Lane out of London High School in Corpus Christi. Number 5, Texas A&M Equestrian takes on number 9, South Carolina in Columbia today. A 9 o'clock start this morning, actually. Trey Dickey was named the SEC Freshman of the Week after a pair of third-place finishes versus number 1 Texas in the pool last Friday. Maddie Livingston was named the SEC's Freshman Runner of the Week after she finished 28th in the Arturo Barrios Invitational last weekend. Men's golf's in the Golf Club of Georgia Collegiate today. That'll run through Sunday. On the women's side, Zoe Slaughter tied a program record on Monday, shooting an 8 under 64 in the final round of the Jim West Challenge. Shout out Tatiana Makarova and JC Goldsmith finishing second in the ITA Regional, Texas Regional, and then the basketball preseason polls came out this week. Men picked to finish 13th. The women picked to finish 3rd.
Our pick 6 here during the final countdown. Gentlemen, we'll start things off with our game. Number 1, South Carolina, 4-3, 1-3 in the SEC. At number 17, Texas A&M, 5-2. 6:30 p.m. at Kyle Field on the SEC Network. The Aggies are favored by 20.5. Let's start off with Seth.
That is just a gigantic spread. I don't care who you're playing. We're going to win the game, but, man, I don't think we cover that, man. That's a big – like, I'd be ecstatic to cover, but I just don't think we do it. And
don't do it, man. That's crazy.
I'm not going to – no cover.
No cover.
I feel like you're about to flip the script on him.
Oh, that's just where I wanted you to be, Seth. Yes, give me the cover, baby. We're going to rout these guys 30 points.
Hey, I hope you're
right.
I hope you're right. I'm thinking 20.
It seems like a big number, bro. This is the same team that had to come from behind against Vanderbilt last week. We're going to rout these dudes. We're going to get up early.
All right. Hey, I'm on board.
Pour it on.
That's a lot of points, man.
is.
I'm not gonna
Think
lie.
of it like this.
I'm gonna be happy with 17.
Do you
I'm not gonna be
think-
like disappointed.
Do you think we can score 40 points against them?
I know.
At home.
What do you want me to? I'm not
Do you
changing my
think-
pick.
do
We're
you
trying
think
to
their
persuade-
defense-
I don't.
Do you think their offense can score 20 against us?
No, I don't think so. I think the most they score is 17.
I think the score is going to be like 38-10, 41-14, something like that.
I like that a lot. Billy?
I don't think the Aggies will score 40. I think this is a better defense than they saw last week, and they scored 35. Now, we know they could have scored 55 in that one. I think the Aggies, I like a 31-13 type of game, and I'm with Seth. Just under the cover. Just under the cover.
This is going to be separation Saturday.
Well, you know what the problem is here?
That's a lot, man.
I'm going to tell you, we're letting the Walrus win this thing. And I'm not sure, but I think PPO is in there as well. Poor picking Olin. There he is. There's Seth.
Big Seth.
Which flipper?
Sticking my tusk on
you just
the
go like
cover.
this with the flipper. Like two.
Cover, not cover.
You put like a fish dressed in a certain team's color.
Which fish does he eat?
Yeah. Like a fish with the team's logos.
A
on
trader
top of
holding
them.
which one is he gonna eat?
So that and PPO, poor picks Olin, are ahead of us right now. And I'm going to tell you what I think my issue is. We've removed Candace from the equation, who has won a couple of these.
Yeah.
And it's like the challenge, Steve, for us is no longer there.
Right.
But now what we need to pay attention to is not the Walrus or PPO.
Big
it's
Rocco.
actually Rocco.
Mm-hmm.
Because Rocco is the hottest picker in this thing. A couple of years ago, he finished in the cellar. Last year, I caught him at the very end, and now his dad, Mark Robinson, is claiming that it doesn't count because I caught him in the bowl games. It doesn't count. But we had them all together because we only
He's
picked
probably
them.
over there just studying
Because
teams.
he does. He
and
studies. He's like
He's been on it this year.
I've said it before. What's the guy's name in? Is it Sonny? Sonny in Casino, De Niro's character.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's who he's like. You just need some big colored sunglasses on.
He's like following everybody's Twitter. This guy said he's tweaked his ankle.
So yeah, he's good and he is on fire. So that's Steve who we need to focus on, not these two. And that
I'm
maybe
coming after
then
Rocco.
we've lost sight. We thought it was going to be easy sailing without Candace in the mix.
Yeah.
Now we've got.
I just never anticipated.
We've gone from Miss USA to the 12, 13-year-old.
Yeah.
And somewhere in between, it just stands to
I just
reason we're
never
going to get our ass
anticipated
kicked.
being behind the walrus. You know,
The
of all
world's
things.
greatest mammal.
Like I just
Is
know
it
mammal,
though,
right?
or is it the whale?
I just know that was
All right, guys, you know what to do here. If you like the video, like it actually, subscribe to our videos, and post, comment, share it. Do it all here for TexAgs. We will see you guys next week here on TexAgs Rewind.